Leave the breakout room? The lot of us, yes.
Tom, you're muted. If you could unmute yourself.
Hello, everybody. How great to see your names popping up all over the place. You know, like Ben and Carol and Marco and Marcia. That's lovely. And there's Adam down there. Welcome to the afternoon. And I know for some of you, it's the beginning of the evening. We're here. I am here in my little corner of the world. Really happy to welcome you to our showcase. Just to give you an idea of what we've been doing, this is the end of our term. And as in the end of our term, we like to share the work. And so basically we're sharing with you where we are in the process. Some of these students are in the advanced class, some of the students are in the muscularity class, but we're all got something really worthwhile for you to see and to hopefully to look at the work. You know that this work is based on Yat-Bentley, and all of our teachers bring something different to the work. But what we try to do is come from a deep place. We're going towards character transformation. So we will give you an idea of what the student, the beautiful student, and we have quite a number of them, 10 of them, I believe, 12, I'm not sure, are going to do by just saying, okay, well, this is going to be a scenario. So some of them will be doing scenarios in which they will be practicing the notes inside of themselves, notes that they need to reveal and to work on. And others will be doing text, which have been assigned also to do the same thing, to find things that celebrate themselves or something that they need to work on. So we're thrilled to be able to do this. We're thrilled to be able to actually see you. Hopefully next year we'll be able to see you all in some theater somewhere where we can be doing it absolutely live. But right now, it's a great pleasure to start this process. So, welcome. First person up is going to be Julie Lam, and Julie is working on you're going to see a lot of dream scenarios tonight and today, because that's where we're working. We go through all the 6, the mobile, the stable, the remote, the near, the awake, and the dream. But where we are right now is what we're sharing. Some of them are doing near scenarios, but a lot of people are with this. So when we talk about a dream, we talk about passion, we talk about spell, we talk about the sensing body and the emotional body. So this is a dream passion stressed scenario, and I'm handing it over right now to Julie.
We just got a ton of last minute changes. I know, right? This is getting ridiculous. I mean, do they think we don't have anything better to do with our time this evening? Let's just order pizza or something. Try to make the best of it. It's gonna be a long night. You know what I can't stop thinking about? Sam, that lucky bastard. I wish I could just up and quit, you know? Instead of dealing with the same shit over and over again. I think I'm gonna quit too. No, I think I'm serious. Yeah, I have some savings. I'm gonna quit. Yeah, you're right, Amy. It's probably not smart, but what is smart about wasting my life away, sitting at this desk doing this same thing day after day? Seriously, can either of you tell me, is is this what you imagined for your life back when you were graduating from college full of hope and energy? No, right? So why are we still here? Well, we could do anything. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. There is a great big world out there, and we have only experienced a fraction of it. I mean, Amy, call up the artist residency program, see if you can get back in. Well, tell them you've changed your mind. I mean, what's the harm in trying, right? Come on, you know you want to. Do it. And Alex, just spend all your time on your Etsy shop until you figure something else out. Well, but I mean, doesn't in the meantime that feel so much more fulfilling, right? Well, I don't even know what I'm gonna do, but just talking about this with you guys, I feel more alive than I have maybe ever, you know? I mean, we can do this. What is it those motivational people always say? Follow your passion and success will follow. Well, we have so much passion and none of it's for email marketing. But we have skills, and we should be using those skills to market ourselves, our passion, our art, our things that make us feel alive, that change the world for the better, you know? By doing this, we could motivate people to change their lives too. A revolution for good, to show people there's more to life, that sees the day. Come on, to follow our passions and find joy and freedom. Let's go.
Thanks, Julie. So when Yat was working with individuals early in his career, he worked with a number of people who were developing characters. And you'll see a few characters this afternoon, this evening. His first one, Greta Turkin, has been working on a particularly near character. And I think you'll see her soon, and we'll be able to see this character twice tonight in two different situations. So here we go, Greta Turkin with a near character.
Wait a minute, don't tell me. Oh, smarita, such a funny word. I know what it is. It means lost, doesn't it? Rubbed out, obscure. Oh, well, I imagine the path was overgrown and they probably couldn't see their way. Such a picture, those two men. Dante was with Virgil, wasn't he? And I suppose they were just stumbling along together. Marvelous lines. They're so wonderful, Signorina, because they're so true. That's what's so extraordinary, to think that those lines were written literally hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and yet they're so applicable to life today. And don't you think that's what happens to people in the middle of life? So often one becomes confused and can't see where one is going. Oh, of course, he was a genius, wasn't he? Like Shakespeare. Now, he and Dante seem to have known absolutely everything, known what would always be true. I imagine we're going to find this full of quotation. Oh, is that 9:30? Would you excuse me 1 minute, Signorina? I have to call up a friend before she goes out. Hello, Plaza 37674. It's something rather important. Oh, hello, my sweet. Gently, darling, don't pull me over. Say good morning to Signorina Nancy and then run along because Mother's having her Italian lesson. Oh, hello. Is Mrs. Norton there? May I speak to her, please? What, sweetheart? Can you? You mean may you go to the movies this afternoon? No, darling, certainly not. You don't go to the movies in the middle of the week. And besides, you have your dancing class today anyway. Hello, Mabel. How are you? Mabel, my dear, I had to call you up to know what happened yesterday afternoon after I left. Well, I saw there was going to be a row and I was dying to stay, but I had my Bible class. I had to fly. Well, what happened? Darling, please don't interrupt. Mother can't discuss it now. I said, run along, close the door, goodbye. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I wasn't saying goodbye to you. I was getting rid of a troublesome child. Yes, I saw that. Yes. And then what happened? What? She didn't. Real hysterics? What did you do? You didn't. A whole glass of water. Oh, what nerve. Well, I've always heard that's the thing to do for hysterics, but I've never heard of anybody doing it. Didn't it ruin her hat? Oh, my dear, how awful. What a situation. Well, my dear, it wasn't your fault. I mean, I thought you were most tactful. After all, one must discuss things, one must cooperate on any committee and compromise. One does behave like that. Of course, I've always thought her the most impossible person. Absolutely. And I have always been slightly suspicious that, what? You have? No, I've never heard it, but I have always thought it. But if that's the case, then we must just quietly get rid of her. Exactly. That's what I mean. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, I do indeed. Baby, put that bottle down. Naughty. Don't touch. Signorina, would you keep an eye on the baby? No, I'm sorry, dear. The baby. She was sucking on the top of my perfume bottle. I thought it would poison her. Yes, well, oh, good morning, Jane. Morning. Stay right there, I'll be right with you. No, the cook just came in. Well, I can't discuss it now. I'm in the middle of an Italian lesson. I can't take the time, but I'll see you tomorrow at luncheon at Gertrude's. Aren't you going to be there? Oh, good. Well, then let's sit together and we can thrash it out. In the meantime, keep it under your hat. It's not going to be easy or pleasant, but we must devise a plan. I feel strongly that. Yes, exactly. Absolutely, I agree with you. Yes, all right. Well then, goodbye, dear. Oh, I'm sure you handled it beautifully. And I wish I had been there. I mean, to help you out. Goodbye. Children, if you're going to play in here, then you must be quiet. Barbara, don't tease. You know he doesn't like it. Now, Signorina, will you excuse me for just 1 minute? I have to order dinner and it won't be a minute. Jane, oh, we're going to be 8 for dinner tonight and I would like a very simple dinner. Have you a clear soup? Then let's have clear soup. And put something amusing in it. I don't mind what. Oh, and then Jane, I thought that we might have that fish souffle that I like. You know, it's white and fluffy and easy to eat in that white silver dish. Low and, you know, with cheese on top and brown. It isn't fish. Well, I always thought it was fish. It tastes like fish and it looks like fish. Oh, hello. Oh, hello, dear. What do you need? Your bag packed with your golf clothes and your clubs, taken to meet you at the 12:10 train. All right. No, it's no trouble. Morris will take them. I have the other car. What's that? You want your brown tweeds. All right. No, it's all right. It's no trouble. I'll tell James. Morris will be there at the gate of the train at 5 minutes past 12. Yes, look out, Billy, get down from there. Get off that chair. Look out, you'll fall. Just be careful. Just stay right where you are. Let Barbara lift you down. No, he didn't fall. He never does. But he must not climb all over my furniture. He was climbing on top of the bookcase by way of the high back chair. What are you saying? A new driver? Well, I don't know anything about it. I'll ask him. Billy, do you know anything about a new driver of Daddy's that came from Spalding's? You do? Well, then go and get it and put it in Daddy's golf bag right away. And don't do anything else on the way. Just keep your mind on that one thing until you get it done. Yes, he knows. Well, it's probably broken by now. Yes, oh, good morning, mademoiselle. Just give me 5 minutes. Yes, I will. All right. Well, don't miss the train. All right. Goodbye. Have a good game. I said, have a good game. Goodbye. Now then, Jane, I thought that we might have a little leg of lamb. Oh, I'm tired of lamb. I'm rather tired of it. I know what I'd like, Jane. Do you remember those pigeons? Oh, you know that recipe that I got in France for pigeons en casserole. You lost it. Oh, Jane. Oh, Jane, be a pet then and just try and hunt it down. What am I going to do now? Nancy, what did you say just then? Nancy, come over here. Tell Mother exactly what you just said. Well, for your information, darling, they aren't for you. And anyway, you should consider yourself lucky to be served pigeons or dinner of any kind when other people are less fortunate. Anyway, darling, we don't say such things. Even when we think them, we don't say them. Now, Jane, please go and find the recipe. And Signorina, I think that we will just run through those lines again, just to get in the spirit of it.
All right, we're off to a start. Thank you so much, both of you, Greta and Julie. Okay, so next we're going to Irina. Irina's going to do one of two scenarios. Now, just to be clear to what scenarios are, is scenarios are written basically either from their own experience or an imaginary experience that they feel they might have wanted to be in. It tests out particular inner muscles. We start the first scenario with Irina. Irina is exploring sensing, the sensing in the body. Can the sensing in the body actually create the communication? Can the sensing in the body be where the voice is? Can one experience a sensuality underneath everything that you're doing? So here we go. Here we go, Irina.
For your tasting menu tonight, we will start with an amuse-bouche made with mushrooms and celery. We will continue with a French onion soup made with the finest onions, topped with melted Gruyere on toast. Now we cannot make substitutions. In France, we do not have allergies. We will continue with the evening with our coco bun. That is our chicken made with mushrooms, and red wine. It is served with boiled potatoes, with butter and salt. No, we cannot have the butter. In France, we do not have high blood pressure. Then we will have the beef bourguignon. That is our beef braised with mushrooms and red wine. It comes with mashed potatoes made with butter and salt. No, you cannot have too much mushrooms and red wine. It is French. For dessert, we present you with our chocolate souffle. It is crispy on top and has a melted chocolate core, which mixes with its bed of creme anglaise. No, it is not like a vanilla sauce. It is creme anglaise. We will end the evening with our cheese and wine. The red wine flight will be enjoyed with the brie, the camembert, and the roquefort. What is that, monsieur? That is not enough food for you? Well, in that case, I can inform you that the establishment, the Olive Garden, is around the corner. That will be $400 even for your reservation tonight, monsieur.
So when we add that beautiful sensing to feeling, we get a dream, right? And our next student, Stephen, is taking a piece from Cyrano de Bergerac and using the passion of drive, the drive of passion. So there are 4 drives, as you know: doing, passion, spell, and vision. And for many people, we associate passion with bound flow, with a lot of but in this piece, there's a lot of but for Stephen, in order to move from to he needs a little scenario that will lead him into Cyrano. So here we are, Stephen. Stephen, unmute yourself.
Thank you. That helps. That helps a lot. I was saying, I since I started this new exercise program, it's been completely pain-free. I haven't felt that in so long. I didn't know what it was like to be able to just get out of bed without having to worry about my spine giving out. And it's not just pain. It's not just the pain has gone away. I feel stronger. I feel so much more able to move and run and just do all the stuff that I was doing years ago. And it just blows my mind. It makes me feel so excited to get back out there. And I saw so many doctors who did scans. They prescribed exercises that didn't do anything. In fact, some even made it worse. And so now what would you have me do? Seek for the patronage of some great man and, like a creeping vine on a tall tree, crawl upwards to where I cannot stand alone? No, thank you. Do as others do, dedicate poems to pawnbrokers. Be a buffoon in the vile hope of teasing out a smile on a cold face? No, thank you. eat a toad for breakfast every morning. Make my knees callous? Cultivate a supple spine and wear out my belly groveling in the dust? No, thank you. Use the fire God gave me to burn incense all day long under a nose of wood and stone. I scratch the back of any swine who roots up gold for me. I tickle the horns of mammon with my left hand, while my right, too proud to know his partner's business, takes in the fee? No, thank you. Shall I go leaping into ladies' laps, licking fingers? Or to change the form, navigate with madrigals for oars, my sails full of the sighs of dowagers? No, thank you. Publish verses at my own expense? No, thank you. Be the patron saint of a small literary group that dines together every Tuesday? No, I thank you. Shall I labor night and day to build a reputation on one song and then never write another? Shall I find true genius only among geniuses and palpitate over little paragraphs and struggle to insinuate my name in the columns of the Mercury? No, thank you. Shall I calculate, scheme, be afraid, love to make a visit more than a poem, seek introductions, favors, influences? No, thank you. No, I thank you again. I thank you.
And I thank you. Great. This is great. Okay. So now we are going to move back to Irina. And it's interesting because so much of our work addresses the inner and the outer life. And when the work becomes more sophisticated, we try to find the inner attitude existing below our personality so that it moves up us. It moves up us so that when we move into the outer, we do experience the world differently than we ever thought we possibly could. So this is a scenario that Irina is doing based on a dream, based on the sensing life and the emotional life, on the passion and the spell. But it's not a situation where she is going to appear on the outer as a dream. It will feed her because that's who she is. And when you are something, you never have to show it. It's there. And with that, a dream to create and find the need for nearness, the communication, for remoteness, the idea, the embracing of the idea, for stability, the need to actually go somewhere. Again, she's exploring the senses, but this time the senses living within the emotion, and that is the deep inner of who she is. Irina.
The first time I came to Budapest as a teenager was on a school trip. I remember it was my first time crossing the border. It was my first time out of Germany. And I got up early to board the bus to take us to Budapest. And when it entered the city center, over the bridge, I remember seeing those beautiful, majestic buildings and the water shimmering, the sun shimmering over the water. And it reminded me of home because we have buildings just like that in Munich. The bus stopped at the restaurant for lunch. It had large windows, tables with red tablecloths, with yellow menus in the middle. And I couldn't read any of the dishes on them. But when the food came, it was all familiar. There was consomme, there was goulash, And there was Black Forest cake. We ate those at home too. So coming back to Budapest reminds me of that time long ago, because it revealed to me what is important here today, and that hasn't changed since. We are more alike than we are different. We are alike because we are Europeans. We are alike because we know we have to do something about the war. We are alike because we know we can stand up to Putin. These oil sanctions, they will undermine Russia's war effort. They will gut their revenue stream and slow down their economy to force them to change their plans. And most importantly, it will show Russia that we take European security seriously and that we can stand up for ourselves, Hungary together with the European Union. So stand up to him, Victor. Say yes to sanctions. Say yes to ending the aggression.
Thanks, Irina. So our next participant is Heidi Carlson, one of our YBC teachers. And she's going to show us the beginnings of a solo show that she's working on. It's called The Pocket. And it's a huge risk, just as often the best work is, where you take an idea, a feeling, a thought, an experience, and go in deeply to show that to the world. So let's see The Pocket by Heidi Carlson.
Spilling over the brim, after dancing on the edge of the wine glass all evening, afraid of falling in like a fruit fly, I walk from the oppressive angled bright lights of the living room into the cozier, darker, more intimate hallway to put on my peacoat, the most enduring hand-me-down from my sister, from her friend Jacques. The peacoat's design is double breasts, puts the wool double-breasted across my vulnerable front, protecting me from the world, just as it did Jacques from the cold, damp, penetrating Humboldt fog. I finger the familiar holes in the pocket and find the dust and the sand, because there's always something to find in a pocket. It had been a long feedback session with my college mentor. She is generous and intense. And I was exhausted and confused and full of realizations of how I could have made this performance piece different. Plus the whiplashing vacuum of a creative project suddenly being over. And it was time. It was time to leave. And I walked to the door, and my hand was almost on the doorknob when suddenly my mentor asked me, she says, "But what was it that happened to you?" Ah! arrow to the back of my neck, even through the double thick wool collar. And blood fled from my torso like an epileptic attack, and then shot back up into my stomach, twisting and grinding my intestines like meat. And suddenly the jacket became too heavy to hold up, and it became like a python that was wanting to squeeze my life out. And I just wanted to collapse onto the floor and disappear into the pine slats. She had released the question that I had held captive for years. What happened to you years ago? I am a lamp. A moment ago, providing light with an environmentally friendly light bulb and a potentially long life, casting shadows near and far. And now I am a shattered light bulb, scattered in a million, billion iridescent pieces, scattered far and wide and dangerous, each little curved piece ready to cut, 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 and each slice leading to a hemorrhaged life. My body was a collision of confusion and misdirected firings and revulsion against who? Against myself, against myself. And there's a ship, the black freighter, turns around in the harbor, and shooting guns from her bow. What happened? What happened? What happened? There are sheets of Scandinavian tension suspended everywhere, just like in the Scooby-Doo cartoons. But Scooby can, with his claw, carve a hole in the ice and make a portal, while I fall backwards over Niagara Falls. We're driving over the Golden Gate Bridge with my parents, driving with them in our old 1968 Volvo station wagon, Volvere, to return. But the gate is a mile wide, and it is 622 feet to the bottom of the ocean, and the current is tumultuous and thick, and there's sharks down there that are ready to come up and bite you. The great plates on the Golden Gate Bridge jogging my little body, sliding me out of my skin like a snake so I disappear. I want to disappear over the edge. I'm looking at the hairs on the back of my dad's neck. I can't see his face, and I can't see my mom's face because I want to know what's going on. I want to know what is going on as the chasm behind is getting wider and wider behind me. And then we arrive, and it's dark and it's late and it's a hospital. But not a hospital like I'd been in before, with art or plants or even fake art or fake plants. This one had layers and layers of different hues of beige paint that had painted over something that had happened before, and it was peeling off. And there were those particle board tiles that you see in institutions and schools with hundreds of holes to count. And it was an enclosed, forgotten, heavy place. And they were going to leave me here. My parents are aliens in this place. They slump in their clothes or stand up too straight. You can't understand things by standing up straight. I tried. My dad becomes a shield. He doesn't let anything in, but then nothing can get out. I tried that too. My mom becomes invisible, frozen in ice, suspended in the liminal with no voice. They are the last echoes in a canyon. And they are vulnerable and scared in this humongous, gigantic brick cement building that is weighing heavily down, with the lights that are shooting up, pressing up, and everything is pressing from all directions, and they're going to leave me here. Checking in, still checking in, one item at a time. The nurse goes through my personal stuff, just like I saw them do on TV when you go to prison. I packed my turquoise pedicure set. I didn't really like it. My mom gave it to me, so that's why I packed it. It symbolizes me going from a younger girl into a preteen, and it was very feminine. Suddenly, the nurse looks at this box of shiny, sharp gold objects and takes it. And suddenly it means everything to me, and it means my relationship to my mom. And she slapped me and reaches, she steals me away from myself and from my mom. In my mind, the nurse leads me to my room so that I don't see my parents leave. And I look at the walls, the beige walls, and I see there's gouges and dents making different patterns. The bedspread is not new. It has all this pilling or balls on it that my mom calls pilling. And I'm sitting there in my clothes and I feel naked. I can feel the cold linoleum as my feet dangle above it. And I see out the window, I can see how thick the walls are on one side and how thick the walls on the other side, keeping me from the ongoing world. It was an enclosed, dejected, forgotten place where anything can happen. What I wanted, and there was, at least they wanted me to play by the rules. They wanted me to play by the rules, but I realized that playing by the rules was not going to get me out. And so I spiraled in and I protected myself. But what I really wanted was I wanted to be free. I wanted to be free. Black lines, 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 don't cross. Well, I did cross, and that's why I'm here. And there's a ship, the black freighter, rises a skull up its masthead, and a cheer rings the air. No light could get in, and no sound could get out. But my cracks remain sealed. You have to have anger to crack. But I was a silent, dark, vacant, sealed vessel. Ship, the black freighter disappeared out to sea, and on it was me. I make people crazy. Get back! 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 Get back, get back to where you once belong. Get back, Jojo. No, Jojo was a man who thought he was a woman. I wanted to get back. I wanted to get back to my mom and to my dad and to my sister. But my former life was foreign. There was no bridge. I see you. I see myself. I see them watching. And I finger the holes in my pocket and I feel the sand and the dirt, because there's always something to find in a pocket. And I find a memory, and a light turns on. Because it is possible to put a million billion fragments and pieces back together to create some sort of shape and illuminate.
Great. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Wow. Okay. So now we're going to Bruce. And Bruce is doing a piece from The Mad Woman of Chaillot by Giraudoux, one of my favorite writers. He is doing this, exploring the inner attitude of a dream, but as a dream in its relationship to the inner attitude of nearness. And how does nearness, sensing, and time relate to remoteness, the spell of remoteness, the two oppositions as he's dealing with something which is an extraordinary problem. So here we go with Bruce.
Tom
Countess.
trains people.
Countess, there was a time when you could walk around Paris and everyone you met was just like yourself. A little cleaner, maybe, or dirtier, perhaps, or angry, or smiling. But you knew them. They were you. Well, 20 years ago, I was on the street one day and I saw a face in the crowd. You might say a face without a face. The eyes empty, the expression not human, not a human face. It caught me staring and looked back at me with these gelatin eyes, and I shuddered because I knew that for this one to be here, one of us had to have left the earth. And then I saw another, and another. And soon hundreds came in. Yes, thousands. Well, Countess, you've seen them yourself. Their clothes don't wrinkle. Their hats don't come off. When they talk, they don't look at you. They don't perspire. They buy the models out of the shop windows, furs and all, and they animate them through a secret process. Then they marry them. Well, naturally, they don't have kids. They don't do any work. When they meet together, they whisper and pass each other 1,000-franc notes. You see them at the corner of the stock exchange. You see them at the auction at the back, but they don't lift a finger. You see them at the theater, standing near the box office, but they don't go inside. They don't do anything, but wherever they are, nothing is the same. It used to be that a cabbage could sell itself just by being a cabbage. Nowadays, a cabbage has to have an agent and has to pay him. Nothing is free to sell or give itself away anymore. Today, Countess, every cabbage has a pimp.
Lovely. Thank you, Bruce. So our last piece right before, we'll have a little 5-minute intermission so you can go and have a stretch yourself, get a drink of water before we come back. So Madame is going to talk to us again, Greta, I believe.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, let's see. Nel mezzo del cammin just means in the middle of the road, doesn't it? That's not very poetical. In English, I don't think one could begin a poem in the middle of the road. Oh, there's telephone. Signorina, I'm afraid it's important. They wouldn't call me. Hush, children. Hello? Count Blavsky. Good morning, Count Blavsky. Good morning, yes. Yes, I called you up and left a message because I wanted to let you know that the portrait has arrived. Yes, yes, it's hanging in the drawing room above the piano, exactly in the place that you selected. And oh, the light is lovely on it. And the frame, we're crazy about it. Everyone admires it. Oh, but Yes, I was. I did want to ask you if I could make a few tiny suggestions. Well, my husband and I were looking at it last night, and we put the child up on top of the piano, right on a level with the picture. And we both think that you've got her a little bit thin. Do you think you could make her a little fatter? Oh, yes, and then there's something not quite right about the smile, the mouth. I mean, do you think you could change the mouth and give her a little smile? Oh, good. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, Count Blutsky, that in summer, when she plays and gets very hot, there's a lovely wave in her hair and little curls about her temples. Do you think you could paint her? Would there be any objection to painting her as though she were hot? Then when may I bring her in, Count Blutsky? Tuesday at 2. Oh, and please, please don't think we don't like the picture. Oh, it's a real work of art. And I think it would be absolutely perfect if you just make those few tiny changes. Goodbye, Count Blutsky. Oh, I look forward to coming to your studio again. Goodbye. Oh, don't grumble, darling. It's only going to take about half an hour.
And I believe we are going to have a lovely break. So thank you, everyone. 5 minutes, and then we will pop back for the second half. Thanks for being here.
Okay. Yeah. 3년이 지났네. 아가씨. 야, 솔직히 몇 곡 넣을지 잘 모르겠어. 그냥 씨발 그냥 하는 거지 뭐. 오케이. Yo. 시작은 초라했지 됐고 그래 남산동지 하에서 이제는 펜하우스 한 남자 히하 아직도 꿈에서 깨지 못하는 비트팬 내 머릿속 현실은 이상과 싸워 지겹게 내 가장 큰 적을 속 안에 화 그보다 더 지독한 내 안에 그럼과의 싸움 가끔씩 쉽게 원망해 왜 이런 삶을 살게 한지 내가 뭐를 하는지 음악을 사랑하는지 가끔씩 괴물로 돌아갈 수만이 돌아갈 거냐고 글쎄 그건 고민 중 내가 가진 게 쉽게 얻은 것 같다가 씨발 개고생한 거 보상받는 것 같다만은 아직 이게 엇보이고 존나 높게 난 있는 거치는 거뭐 양산동에서 시작한 10년은 더 지났지만 그때랑 똑같네 머리가 복잡한 건 fuck 새벽에 맞는 저답이 여전히 그때와 같네 내 삶에 많은 게 변했지만 뭐 저답빛은 여전히 그대로라고 새벽에 맞는 저답이 여전히 그때와 같네 변하는 모두에게 필연적이지 어떻게 변해가는지가 우리의 어빌지 가끔씩 내가 천재인 것 같다가도 가끔씩 내가 재능이 없는 것 같기도 해 어떨 땐 곡이 미친 듯이 나오다가 다시 막힐 때는 한없이 또 막히더라고 마저 지금도 Verse 1은 존나 빠르게 쏟는데도 Verse 2는 진짜 안 나오네 죽자도 인생도 마찬가지겠지 뭐 안에만도 어차피 평행은 없어 선택의 문제라고 영원은 존재하지 않길 지금 뭣도 불멸의 주제는 존나게 부담스럽고 그냥 음악이 좋아서 시작한 게 단데 내게 붙이는 수식어들은 가끔은 버겁네 어쩌겠어 그냥 달려야지 뭐 어쩌겠어 진 건 잡아야지 뭐 어쩌겠어 받은 건 갚아야지 뭐 부딪힐 것 같으면 더 세게 밟아 임마 새벽에 맞는 저답이 여전히 그때와 같네 내 삶에 많은 게 변했지만 뭐 저답빛은 여전히
Okay, I'm going on now, folks.
Okay.
Tom, you were there. Now you're gone again. The music is stopped.
All right. Hey, folks. Oop. You know, I am a genius when it comes to technical things. I just don't show it. Poor people I have to work with, all the other teachers. I mean, really, if I can do something wrong, I will do it wrong in terms of the technical aspects. Welcome back, everybody. We're excited to go into the second half. We've got some new people and loving the work so far, loving the opportunity of it being shared with you all. So without any more intro, we're going to move to Miyako. Now, Miyako is working on 2 scenarios, and she's going to do them back to back. Just to give you an idea of how it is possible, the challenge to be able to do 2 scenarios which are very opposite. The first scenario is based on the inner attitude of stability, where the mind and the sensing are married, whether that is the impulse or needing to have the stability so that one is not that emotionally or involved and time is not there, maybe as it is as a resistance, but working towards the stability. Then immediately afterwards, she's going to go into the mobility, where the emotion and the event, emotion and time is what moves you. So going from the stability as an inner attitude with spell and doing, into the mobility with passion and vision, ideas and problems, constructing and destroying. And we'll see what happens as she goes through that and through those transformations. So here we go with the second half and Miyako.
All right, ladies. How far is the storm? It's not a lot of time. Alexis, reroute us to the safest route. You'll have to override the system and fly manually. Put us in manual mode. Alexis, put us in manual mode. Take a deep breath. We'll do it together. You have 5 seconds to put the ship in manual mode. 5, 4, take a deep breath. It's beautiful, isn't it? You want your family to see this, don't you? We got this. I just need you to push some buttons. I promise you, we'll get through this. That was amazing. Oh my God, I can't believe we got through this. Can you believe it? Oh my God, I'm like shaking inside. Oh my God. Okay, can you believe it? Did you see the crowd? Oh my gosh. The people, it was such a big hit. This is definitely gonna get the message out there. Oh my God. Ah, yes. Oh my gosh. And thank you. Thank you for doing all this. This is all thanks to you. Yes. Oh my God. I can't even I just don't want this day to end. Oh, I know, but okay. All right. All right. I'm gonna catch my breath and oh my gosh, it's time for you to go home and enjoy some time with your wife. I know she's gonna be so happy. She's gonna spend so much more time with you again. Thank you again for doing this. Okay. Oh my goodness. Stop it. You're flirting. Stop. You are so funny. Oh my God, stop flirting. You love your wife. Yes. Oh gosh. Okay. All right, scoot on up. Go. All right. Yeah. What? I okay. You know what? We're just like on a high right now, and you know, just things are happening so quick. So I I actually have to go home. So yeah, because I have a lot of protection stuff to do, and no, I okay. No. Okay. Uh, okay. I don't. Okay. Look, I think you got the wrong message, and I'm sorry for like leading you on or anything, but that's not what I want. So, um, we can, you know, we could just be cool and like I I won't say anything. You know, just do the right thing and just go home, okay? Okay. Now look, please, I really, I don't want anything from you, okay? Okay, look, please, just, you can just, oh my God. No, please. Just, no! No! Ah! Get away! Go away!
Okay.
Okay. Is it your turn, Tom? Nope, it's my turn.
It is your turn, Madhu.
Okay, gorgeous. Thank you, Mieko. So you could see the huge contrast that people can find and the difference in character and nuance from one to the other. And now we're going to go to one of our other skilled solo performers, Alicia, and her piece is called Tantra. Alicia.
So I have a new boyfriend. And he's a total dreamboat. On our second date, he shows me his artisanal biodynamic compost. And I run my hands through this silky, moist earth. And he describes to me how he painstakingly and lovingly puts his blood and sweat and tears into making this by hand, how it's teeming with beneficial microbes. And something crazy happens. My pussy gets so wet. So fast forward a few weeks, one night we're at this Jewish compost making ceremony. Yes, a Jewish compost making ceremony. And he says, this stuff is so pure, you can eat it. In fact, sometimes I do. And everyone chuckles. After they leave, I whisper, I want to eat it. I want to eat your compost. For real? Yeah, but only if you feed it to me. He sees I'm serious. And so right then and there, he takes a bit of it and he drizzles it into my mouth, and it tastes fresh and clean like a mountain. And something easy, even crazier happens. My pussy gets wet again, and he kisses me, and we full on make out with the compost. Well, my pussy is onto something. Turns out this man is some kind of tantric sex god. He's multi-orgasmic. He can make love for as long as I want. And all he wants to do is make me come in every way possible. It's the worst, right? And he'll text me crazy romantic stuff like, my cock just told me his favorite place in the entire universe is inside you. That's not a joke, I'm just bragging. But seriously, it's awful because he's the first guy I've been with who actually knows more about my body than I do. At least that's what he tells me. And he wants more than anything to please me. In fact, he really wants me to have a cervical orgasm. A full body, earth-shattering, life-changing, satisfied for days, highest union with another human, merging with God's cervical fucking orgasm. Thank you, Lord. Oh my God. I love this man. But also, shit, fuck. I can't feel my cervix. Unless your cock is so big it knocks against it and I cringe in pain. That's the only time I've ever felt my cervix. And he's been called a mythical lover, half man, half god. All of his previous partners, he says, have had epic G-spot and cervical orgasms. And I start to wonder, well, I wonder if they're faking it. But I also start to wonder, maybe there's something wrong with me. And I suddenly feel really insecure about my pussy. You know, some people say G-spot orgasms don't even exist, that it's really just the back of the clitoris. Some people say cervical orgasms don't exist. Any ladies here had one of these snuffleupagus, Moby Dick, unicorn-ass orgasms? Huh? Any of you? You can type it in the chat box. I start freaking out. I'm spinning out night and day. I'm starting to wonder. I'm worrying, like, what if I'm too uptight? What if I can't surrender enough to have a cervical orgasm? What if I feel so on the spot about it that I never tap into my full sexual potential and I shrivel up and die and single and alone with my 52 cats eating my uptight carcass? That's a lot of pussies to share a small amount of meat, you know what I mean? That is one fancy feast. Or what if I do have one and it's just like, meh, you know? I confess my fears and he says, Alicia, no, your pussy is amazing. I just want to feel like when I'm smashing you, you know, that you're enjoying it. And I say, baby, the outer third of my pussy is enjoying the shit out of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, like intercourse does feel amazing. But it's more like a generalized, you know, oh God, I finally feel complete. Put it in me right now kind of amazing. It's just, I'm not likely to come from it, you know? But of course I feel insecure, right? I mean, for millennia, women have been getting mixed messages about our pussies. Don't look up in there without a doctor. Don't feel pleasure up there without a lover. You know, and don't feel angry about that. Okay, that makes me really angry. In fact, up inside the pussy is a really great place to just bury all those feelings you're not supposed to feel. So we're not supposed to go up in there or feel anything, but simultaneously, we're also supposed to be totally and completely satisfied by the same exact thing that men are, by penetration. I mean, that's probably why we pretend to feel something up there. I mean, I don't pretend, but she does. But I mean, these are politically controversial orgasms, right? I mean, cervical orgasms are basically proof that penetration, that the pinnacle of the act of the penis, that is the gateway to women's pleasure. It's proof that sex makes sense. If women come from penetration alone, then the penis has a purpose, right? I mean, never mind that the clit has 8,000 nerve endings and the cervix has 3. And I feel a lot of empathy for you men. I mean, you've worked so hard for so long to create the structures of the planet, you know, the pyramids and the stock market and the plastic Garfield phones that have sunk to the bottom of the ocean in cargo containers and wash up on the beach of the French Riviera every summer. Oh, there's Garfield. It must be summer. You've heard about that, haven't you? And sometimes I wonder if men are unconsciously thinking, well, if I can't make a woman cock with just my come with just my cock, I mean, what's even my purpose, really? What's even the meaning of my life? You know, I can't birth new life, and now you're telling me my dick can't even reach the right place in you? I mean, were men even made for women? I mean, at least when you fuck a dude, you can reach his prostate and blow his maybe men are made to be gay, you know? It's like a major existential crisis for you guys. It's like a thing, you know? And men, I just want to say, just confront the existential crisis. Get fucked in the ass and feel for once in your life the exquisite vulnerability of penetration. But here's the thing. I have known all my life that this body has the potential, the possibility for massive pleasure. And I want to have all the kinds of orgasms. I want this so bad. I want to have it with a man. I want to have an eyegasm and a toegasm and an eargasm and an elbowgasm and a heartgasm. And it turns out that cervical orgasms, they don't just happen by accident. You know, apparently you have to work at it, like not just Kegels to articulate your vaginal muscles, but yoni massage and jade eggs and breath work and visualization. It's basically like a Rocky montage between your legs every day. And my boyfriend tells me that that's women's podcast on sex. I listen to it, and it's so insulting. If you truly want to be a well-fucked woman, you have to wake up your pussy. And then you will radiate pleasure, get more clients, make more money, and experience, incidentally, full spiritual enlightenment. And clearly, according to this bitch, I have wasted, a decade of time and money on therapy and meditation, yoga, and business coaching. It turns out all you have to do to succeed in life is just tighten your pussy? Who knew? And she's like the performance of a turned on woman. And I hate her slick marketing and her pseudo spiritual message. But I don't actually disagree with anything she's saying. And hell, maybe I want what she has. Maybe I want to lift coconuts with my vag. Maybe I want a kung fu vagina. And I think, my boyfriend has been studying the mechanics of sexuality since he was like 19. Maybe it's time to do my part. So I buy the fucking course. I don't tell him. I just really want him one night to be like, damn, Alicia, what magic is happening up in the Crystal Palace? What have you been doing? He never says that. But anyway, I'm doing all sorts of exercises. I'm doing the Kegel waltz and the vaginal Macarena, the introidal electric side, east side to the west side. I like the way you work it. Hail, hail, hail. And I'm squeezing my Kegels, chanting my temple is sacred. I'm infinitely orgasmic. My man's brilliant cock is illuminating the Crystal Palace. I'm opening, I'm surrendering, I'm receiving. Yes, yes, yes. But I have to admit, just a teeny tiny part of me, like 3%, is doing it from ego, to get something, like to prove something. Just 3% is squeezing and thinking, is it working? Is my pussy tight enough? Can I surrender? Can I receive? Am I enough? Am I enough? Am I fucking enough? And I'm afraid I'm programming this insecure ego bullshit into my muscle memory every time I squeeze. And I'm pretty sure that's the opposite of Tantra. that's the day that I realize something has gone awry. And my boyfriend comes to me that day and says, I have something to tell you. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I am so sorry. I'm so sorry you felt pressured to have a certain kind of orgasm. And God, I can't even imagine how bad that might feel. I didn't even realize it. All I want is for you to be satisfied. I shouldn't have even brought it up. It was so stupid. And I start to cry, tears of relief. Oh God. So glad I don't have to feel ecstasy. And I have something to tell you. I bought the vaginal kung fu course. No, you spent all that money. And I say, no, I wanted to. I'm excited. But also the thing for me is sex isn't mainly about mechanics. It's about my heart, which is where I think I have the most nerve endings. And I realize we both made a sweet sacrifice for each other. It's sort of a gift of the vagi situation.
That's great.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Hey, folks, that was great. Thank you. Wow. Everyone is just being amazing today. Just amazing. Okay, so moving right along now, we have Newton. Newton is doing a piece that he's written called The Waiting Room. It's called The Waiting Room. He's playing with Near, and he's playing with a dream, and he's playing with passion. So without much more to say, let's go straight on to Newton. That's what you're reading. Hey, young lady. May I ask what you're reading? Oh, yeah, I like that. That's wonderful. I love the stories. Yeah, I love the stories. Are you, by chance, here to see Dr. Fisher? Because I'm here to see Dr. Fisher. You are? Well, let me tell you something. He doesn't know what the heck he's doing. I've been coming here for 40 years, and every year he tells me the same thing. If I don't take better care of myself, I'm not going to live past 50. And then it was 60. And then it was 70. Well, I'm going to tell you a secret. Chronologically, I'm 85. And I haven't exercised a day in my life. I wake up every morning and I eat a big slab of bacon that I cook up in the grease, and I make it nice and crispy and crunchy, and I munch on it. And every afternoon, I got a cigarette. I have one cigarette, and it's really tasty. And then in the evening, I have 2 beers. Every evening, I have 2 beers, and they give me a lot of gas and bloating, but I sleep like a baby. Yeah, but that's not my secret. The secret is I'm actually really a 25-year-old young man. I may be wrapped up in this wrinkly old wrapper, but I'm a 25-year-old young man. You don't believe me? Well, let me show you. Yeah. Hey there.
I'm Sven. Sven Swedenborg. I know what you're thinking. I know. You don't have to say it. You've never been in the presence of such a beautiful and gorgeous man, have you? It's true. I am the world's most desirable man. Women, men, he, she, they faint at my mere presence. Rumor has it, if I went to Texas, they would stop me at the border for fear that I might undermine their latest conversion therapy. I admit, when I was younger, I fully indulged. I fully indulged, but it got to be too much. The endless adoration and the attention and the lust and desire. I felt like I was in a crowded, X-rated movie theater and people were staring and making faces, and I was the movie. So I joined a monastery, of course. Not just any monastery. There was no nuns and no Catholic priests. It was actually a monastery of eunuchs. And they dare not touch my perfect appendage. But after weeks turned into years, and I was desperately lonely. The place was cold, with stone walls and a little bed and a thin little mattress. And every night I prayed to God for guidance until one day he came to me and he said, "Hey, Sven." And I said, "Hey, God." And we talk like that. We're on first name basis. He calls me Sven and I call him God. Anyway, he comes to me and it was different because he's looking at me and all serious and he's staring down at me like he's going to tell me something important. And he speaks and he says, "Hey, Sven, what are you doing? Hiding out in this monastery? I work really, really hard on you. I spend more than 6 days creating you. You are like wonder of the world, except nobody knows about you because you hide in the monastery. You need to get out here. You are like gift to the world, not for some selfish little boy back in this little room. If you stay here one more day, I think I turn into Old Testament God, with fire and brimstone. And I'm going to tell the monks, maybe your little penis is not so perfect after all." I decided to leave the monastery. I decided that this body and this wonderful personality must be shared with the world. It was a gift for the world. And if I must suffer from the endless adulation and desire and attention and lust and bodies intertwangled, and then so it must be done. This would be my purpose. And so I left the monastery. And I fulfilled my purpose. And I met many people. And now I'm here with you. And the rest of you, and you, and you. And I'm not here to talk about me. No. I'm here to talk about my story and how you too can be a Sven, and you can be a Gertrude or a Helga. You may feel 70. You may wake up with a gut full of gas and you want to fart it out, and instead little pee comes out in spurts and dots and dashes. You may look 90, but you can be 25. You can be a Sven. You can be a Gabriella. You can be a Larry. You don't want to be a Larry. You can be a Lorenzo. And you, my dear, you can be 25 for the rest of your life. I will show you the way. You know what else keeps you young? Dancing. Dancing keeps you young. Yeah, dancing. Everybody get up and dance. Dance with me. Come on, dance. Where's the music? Give me some dancing. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. I want some dancing. Oh, crap. That's the doctor. I'm next.
All right. Well, Sven may talk to God, but Mr. Smith talks to the president. So our next student is Mokshad Dodwani from Mumbai, who took the admonishment to break legs a little bit more seriously than most of us and actually broke his foot this morning. So he's sitting rather than moving around, but he's still doing the most beautiful work. So here we go. Mokshad with Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Behold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that it is for this purpose, to secure these rights, that governments are instituted amongst men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, and that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is a right of the people to amend or to abolish. I always get a great kick out of this last part of the Declaration of Independence, to amend or to abolish. Now, you're not going to have a country that can enforce these kind of rules if you haven't got the men to back them up. Men that can tell human rights from a punch in the nose, men that will hold up the moral structure of this great nation. And it's a funny thing about men, you know. They all start life being boys. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the senators here were boys once. Only some of them. Some of them were born old, I can tell that. Well, that's the reason I just thought, you know, it just felt so right to me to, you know, set up a program where we can take boys out of the crowded cities and the stuffy basements and out into our beautiful country and train up their minds and their bodies for a man-sized job, because these boys are going to be behind these desks some of these days. It just felt right, you know. Get boys from across the country, of all nationalities, of all ways of living and thinking, and put them together and let them find out what makes the other guy tick. What makes us tick and make this great nation. Because I wouldn't give you 2 cents for all your leather-bound books and all the rules if behind them there wasn't just the plain, old, simple salt of the earth, everyday kindness. And just looking out for your fellow buddy, fellow man. That's just the blood and the bone and the sinew of this democracy that those great men handed down to us. We did not build this, we are here as guardians. They handed down to us. But of course, if you've got to build a dam where the boys camp out to be, to generate some graft, to pay off some political army that supports you, then that's what you'll do. Because that's how it's done. But if you think that I'm going to go back to my state and tell my boys, forget about it. Forget all the things that I've told you about this great nation, the land of the free, the land of the brave. Forget all that. This country doesn't even belong to you. It belongs to a lot of James Taylors. Yes, I said that. Glad you know you are alive under that sheet of paper you've been sleeping under. You still got a face? Show yourself in the morning in the mirror. I hate this. Gentlemen, I hate to do this here in this august body. I hate to stand. I know that. A guy like me should never have been allowed into a place like this. I know that. A guy like me should never have to be in this place. I know that. But I'm here. And I'm bad as hell and I'm crazy and I'm right. Stop this nonsense.
That was great.
Thank you so much. That was great. It's wonderful when politics comes into the work, as it did with Irina, as it did with Mogshot, all the way from Mumbai, by the way. It's wonderful to feel that. It felt as if we needed to hear that today, so thank you, right? No one is a student. You are all artists first, and it's wonderful when we hear that voice. Julie is coming back, second last in our performances today. She's going to take Cat in a Hot Tin Roof and experiment with the depth and with the passion. So here we have, once more, Cat in a Hot Tin Roof, Julie.
Did anyone ever tell you that you're an ass-aching Puritan, Brick? I think it's mighty fine that the old fella on the doorstep of death still takes in my shape with what I think is deserved appreciation. Anyone know something else? Big Daddy didn't know how many little Mays and Goopers had been produced. How many kids have you got? He asked at the table like Brother Man and his wife were new acquaintances. Big Mama said he was joking. That old boy wasn't joking. Lord, no. And when they informed him that they have 5 already and are turning out number 6, well, that news seemed to come as a sort of unpleasant surprise. You really should have been at that supper table. You know, Big Daddy, bless his old sweet soul. He really is the dearest old thing in the whole world, but he does hunch over his food as though he preferred not to notice anything else. And May and Goop are sitting side by side directly across from Big Daddy, watching his face like hawks while they jawed and jabbered about the cuteness and brilliance of those no-neck little monsters. And the no-neck monsters are just ranged about the table, some in high chairs, some on books of knowledge, all in fancy little paper caps in honor of Big Daddy's birthday. And all through dinner. Brick, baby, I want you to know that Brother Man and his partner never once, not for one moment, stopped exchanging pokes and pinches and kicks and signs and signals. They were like a couple of card sharks fleecing a sucker. Even Big Mama, bless her old sweet soul, but she isn't the quickest or baddest thing in the world, finally noticed at last. And she said to Goopa, Goopa, why are you and May making all these sounds at each other? I swear to goodness, I nearly choked on my chicken.
Thanks, Julie. Last but by no means least, we have Russell from Canada, all the way from Toronto, I believe, with a piece from I Am My Own Wife by Doug Wright. So we'll see the difference between a dream where sensing is joined with feeling, where the emotion is in the body and the body is in the emotions, and looking at remote, where the feelings are in the ideas. And at the end of this piece, everybody, those of you who have performed, please all come on so that we can all see you and celebrate you. Thanks. Thank you, Russell. Here we go.
My father was a Nazi. He was brutal. He was for militarism. And the years of marriage for my mother was a moratorium. She wanted a Sechscheisen-Lassen. Get a divorce. And my aunt, she said one day to me, if your father beats your mother one more time, she will die. And so we got lucky. In 1943, the government decreed the evacuation of mothers with children. And so my mother took the children to East Prussia, to my aunt's house. And during that time, we became very good friends, my aunt and me, because she was a lesbian and I was the same. And one day, I was cleaning the furniture and I looked through the window and it was snowing. And there, coming through the snow, I saw a man with a hat and a bag. And I became horribly scared because I realized it was my father. And my aunt and my father had a very hot discussion. And my aunt said to my father, your wife really wants a divorce. And then suddenly my father, he pulls out his pistol and then he says, one more word and I'll shoot. But then my aunt, she pulls out from her desk her revolver, and then she says, you have to the count of 3 to get out or I will shoot you. And then she says, 3. And then the bullet went through one door and into the other, and there it lodged. And then my father went back to Berlin. And I asked my mother, I asked my aunt, I asked her and she said, of course, it is a shame that I did not kill him. And so in the 26th of January, 1945, we got a letter from the government saying that our home would be confiscated for the Berliners who lost their homes in the war and in the bombing. And so I went with a train back to Berlin to rearrange the furniture to make room for the refugees. And I was coming home, and my father lives there, of course. And then one evening, I think it was the second or third day. No, it was the week. It was the week. It was the first week of February 1945. And as my father, he comes to me and he says, "This is the hour that I must ask you. Are you for me or are you for your mother? Do you stand with me or do you stand with her?" And I was 15 years old, and I asked my father, "Aren't you ashamed of the way that you have treated my mother?" And then he said, "I will shoot you down like a dog. And then I will go to East Prussia, and I will shoot your mother and your sister and your brother." I remember what my aunt said, and I knew that my father would do this. But then he locked me into bedroom by turning the key, and it was war, so I could hear the Allied bombs coming in the night. But then I saw under my bed this large wooden utensil used to mix cake, a Weisssackmann, a rolling pin. And I thought I could use this as a weapon. But I wanted to get out of the room, but it was tightly locked. But even then, in my pocket, I had keys. So I very carefully opened the door, and I was going into the next room. And it was very dark, except for the moonlight shining. And there was my father. He was lying on the sofa in the dining room. And his gun lay in the chair beside him. And I saw the chair and I saw the gun. And in that moment, a clock, we had a Westminster clock. The clock began to chime, and I saw my father's hand reaching for his weapon, and it was in that moment that I began to beat him. He said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. And the next day, the criminal police came and they asked me my motive. And I told them. And then they brought me before, they arrested me, and then they brought me in front of the youth justice. And I was sentenced to the youth prison in Tigo. 4 years detention. And then I got to the jail, my mother was there. And we looked at each other in the eyes, and we knew that we were free from that monster.
We're all going on now. You can sit if you want. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'd love everybody to, I mean, I'm just so proud of the work. I'm so proud of what people have done today. Thank you so much for coming. We'd like everyone just to come on now and say hello to Iris, to Misha, to Tanya, to Carol, to Marco. If you're still there somewhere, please join us. So all the performances are going to come out. I've got 2 of them in my room here. Can you see them? There they are. Come on, come on over here. Come on over here. We love having shared this with you. Pamela and I, and Heidi and I, and Adam and Jocelyn and Miranda and Lavinia, we just love our students. And I'm sure that you can see why we love our students. We love our students because they dig deeply, and I just so appreciate what they can do on Zoom. I just adore them all. So hi, Alicia. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to hand it over to Pamela for a moment. Are you there, Pamela?
Yeah. Did I unmute everybody who needed to be unmuted? Is there anybody waiting for me? No.
No, I don't think so. I've got these 2 here.
Okay. So, Carol, I'll let you unmute in a moment. So I just wanted to say thank you to our students who work so hard. And I absolutely agree with Tom. You're all artists. And I feel very proud and lucky to be working with you. Yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. And then I think we should turn off the recording and let all the audience come on and say what they want to say, because I'm sure there's lots to say from